Hello, and thank you so very much for joining me tonight. I go by Lune, INNATE, and today what I'm creating for you, for the collective, oh, hi air conditioner, well, it's gonna come on eventually anyway, right? But is a video to support the collective, simply, an ASMR style video, if you like that kind of thing. And for those of you who are more open to energy work, and even if it's not the energy work, even if you're just more open or possibly open to the fact that you can communicate to your subconscious mind, which is incredibly powerful, and that can make changes in your life, or that can, or rather communicate to it and assign it things to take on for your betterment, for your development. All right, so wherever you fall in that spectrum, I'm very honored to be able to create this video for you this evening, and I hope you don't mind the air conditioner. It's hot. So we're gonna start as we always do with our intention, our candle, and our theme today is with neural pathways. And I feel like I've done a video like this before, excuse me, but I have some other things that I'd like to share. So immediately, we've talked about this before, so our brains form pathways. They take roots, paths, your thoughts, your reactions, your feelings, they all trigger one another, but they more or less seem to go over and over again through repetitive pathways, such as habits or typical reactions that we see out of ourselves in situations. Often, when we're faced with discomfort in any way, big or small, our brains automatically try to go back to pleasure. We try to seek what was once fulfilling us, or when we last felt like safe or cared for. And it doesn't necessarily have to be, I guess, when we last, but other times in our lives, what had helped us. So this can be, self-medicating. This can be positive things, I guess, is a way to say it, or harmful things, or self-destructive things, or things that don't really allow or support growth. So our theme is to support forming new, healthier pathways. I say healthier, I just mean better for your growth, better for your development, better for, aligning to what you wish to align to. And not to the self-destructive, not to the disempowering, and not to the completely numbing, again, as in there would be no growth through too much numbing. Alright, so where are my, where did they go? Oh, they're there. I was excited, and then I thought I lost them. I have these little candles. Bear with me. We're in Mercury retrograde, 5 planets in retrograde. They got their metro cards. All the planets are hopping on the 6. I don't know. But got a lot of planets in retrograde right now, so bear with me. Anyway, just showing you this cute little matches box from a shop in Philly where I got my earrings. Ritual shop. Oh, the air is really blowing right on me. Just gonna have to deal with that. Do I have tweezers? I don't think I do. Anyway, our candle's just a little bit tilted. A little bit tilted. Maybe it's fitting. She's doing okay. She's just stuck in there a little bit weird. Anyway, we'll be okay. Sorry. But on behalf of your and my and everyone else's highest and greatest good, in perfect comfort and perfect alignment, our intention today is to support the collective, support you as an individual, and support the collective as a whole with intentions of balancing, of alignment, of empowerment, of comfort, energizing, self-healing activations, wonderful rest, rejuvenation, all of these things. But in addition, we'd like to intentionally work with the neural pathway intention of forming new groups, forming new paths, forming paths that will support our personal growth and aligning to, again, how we want to be, right? You have something in your head about the person, the kind of person you'd like to be, or, quote unquote, where you'd like to be in your life by now, or the direction you want to move in, the things you want to experience, the shoes you want to fill in a way, right? That might just be a happy person. That might just be a really wonderful parent or friend. That might be a wonderful business person, artist, right? There's so many different things. Partner, you get it. So we want to direct the painful experience we are human. We want to bring awareness to that experience, and instead of going on the path that kind of takes us lower in vibration, or that takes us off the path that our souls would prefer to be on, right? We want to guide that and form a new habit. I'm just going to share what's been working for me. But sweating, so if I get sad, if I get depressed, if I get anxious, if I get numb, I've been really trying to move my body and let myself sweat, bring my heartbeat up. And it's been very helpful because then I get really thirsty. I end up drinking a lot of water. I get sweaty, so I want to take a shower. That refreshes me. So it's not just the exercise, but it's the exercise as part of the ritual of, a complete little self-care package, if that makes sense. For you, it might be tidying up. It might be taking a walk. It might be journaling. It might be painting. But it's going to be something that will more or less bring you pleasure. Will bring you pleasure. I don't love exercise, but I do feel really good about halfway through, and I never regret doing it. Ever, ever, ever. So you want to find something like that, something you have that you gain some kind of satisfaction from, and we want to set a little memory, a little trigger, a little anchor to do that instead of whatever our more halting reaction might be. We don't want to beat ourselves up. We don't want to replay everything over in our head and try to figure things out. Let's catch ourselves in the moment and shift to a tool or a resource or a practice that supports us and that is for our overall well-being. Right? And of course, if you have your own intention you'd like to set, particularly in working in the mental field, the mind, the patterns, the belief system, just have a look at this light, this glow, and make or set your own intention. So, you'll have to forgive if you hear any traffic sounds. It shouldn't be too bad, but you might hear cars passing. Don't be alarmed, and the air might come on again. I do have some stones picked out for our little session today. The first is one of my favorite. Autumn Mystic gave this to me. It is Kambaba stone. And this one is great for kind of resetting the mind, but not just like, oh, this is going to reset my mind. You have to use it. You have to work with it. And that's how crystals are. You got to work with them for the most part when you're trying to do this kind of stuff anyway. But you can see it's a beautiful green stone with these black swirly galaxy eyes, and it's so gorgeous. And oh my god, I just love this stone so much. I can't get enough of it. So I'm just going to tune in to your energetic body if you allow and focus on, I'm seeing like the lymph system, I'm seeing the drainage system quite interestingly. And I'm just going to take this stone and kind of rub it around by the back of the head here. Just swirling in the circle back here. Our intention is to just start to access these pathways. To access the, you could picture it. I picture it like an old movie of like kids walking home to school, and like that you cut through this path. Like, did everybody have one of those in their town too? Like just different paths through pieces of like little woods or wooded areas or through backyards, and the path just gets worn, you know? I want to visualize that back here. Does it look like a web? Does it look all tangled? Maybe you can feel it. Maybe you can just like see an image. We're just focusing a little deeper now into the back of the mind. Coming forward over the top here. Okay. I'm going to share with you this topaz. Pretty cool, right? Topaz has a kind of like dual directional shape to it, if I can put it that way. It like sends and receives, regardless of the terminations, if it even has any. And I like that for as we're carving our new paths, we want to like go over it. It's not just, it's like really carve it in. Just carve in these new paths. Right, just reaching around to the back of the head. And here we're just gonna making new pathways, more opportunities for things to go in different directions. Kind of setting the foundation here a little bit. You can see ladders, steps, staircases, escalators, elevators, slides, swings, but just new ways kind of coming through. We're accessing all those triggers, those feelings of, let's say, rejection or being let down or being scared, And then when we feel like that, instead of going into the pattern of, I don't know, because I don't want to criticize anything, but for me, one of my patterns is just like shutting down. It's not really helping me, and I don't really eat that great when I do that. It's not really helping my mental health at all either. And there's something to be said for processing, of course, but getting up, moving myself, eventually cleaning myself up, that works much better. You see yourself planting flowers that bloom, lift you, elevate you. Right. And another stone that I brought out is this eudolite. I'm pretty sure is how you say it. Eudolite. Anyway, can't really see what it looks like here. But this is basically a very dark, almost black stone with these red eudolite pieces, if you can see those little specks. So I guess you'd call it more of like a composite type stone, because the red is the eudolite part, from my understanding, as far as I know. And this is just another one that's great for the back of the mind, the patterns, the beliefs, the habits, the quick reactions, the places our mind goes. So, just gonna do some swirling, guiding, connecting those stairways, those slides, those new paths. And we're not even like doing it yet. We're just setting it up in there. When we do a little bit more energy work, it's all kind of established for us. It's not as like, I don't know, it's not as like grinding. It's not as like having to do it all at once. I'm seeing turtles, like soft shell turtles or water turtles or something. Not like sea turtles, like you know what I mean? The kind of like the funny nose. I'm seeing like a rib cage, and maybe even like a corset or something like a corset. I'm seeing an urn or some kind of vase. I'm seeing a rune that I don't know runes, but I'm seeing one. It's like, it's one that kind of looks like that. Do you know what I mean? I'm seeing the two halves of the head, but it's like big butterfly wings, like down the head. That's good. I'm seeing a bat face, like a cute, fluffy bat face. I'm seeing a kind of creature. Kind of looks like toothless. Like How to Train Your Dragon Toothless, I mean. Okay. Alright, so my last stone to show you is this cute little double terminated Herkimer. This was a gift and I love it, but I don't remember. It's got like a little buddy here. It has an anhydro, I think, in there, or some kind of like particle or something. And I just love this stone. I used to wear it all the time in a necklace. But I like it because it has a very like little spaceship vibe to me. Right? I love this. Anyway, so with this spaceshipy little, I don't know, like Merkaba, like look at this awesome design. Can you see the sides of it? Oh, it's so cool. So I'd love you to close your eyes if you want, or just kind of tune in, a little more subtly, let your inner mind play. But see yourself inside something like this. It might be more star-like. It might be more round. It might be, a cube. It might be a tube. But see yourself kind of just in this encapsulated form, this vehicle, this energetic vehicle. One of the things I really like to do, to feel myself in this little vehicle, this little transport, is to close my eyes and begin to feel, like, how far can I sense in front of me? How far can I sense behind, to my sides, above and below? And I just, as if I can sense the perimeter of this, sensing the perimeter of this, I can start to connect with this like outer force field around me. And I can travel in this force field. So just close your eyes, or again, tune in to your subtle senses. You begin to sense all around you. How far can you feel? Extending in front of you and behind, to your left and your right, above and below. And just feel yourself in this little container, right? We're gonna set intentions to move beyond time and space. We're gonna see ourselves small, 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 small in our magic little vehicle, going right into our own minds, right into these pathways, these electrical currents. We might see it very like a computer or electronic board. Oh my gosh, I'm sorry, I don't know the proper names for this stuff. Or it might look like a labyrinth, Whatever comes up for you is totally right. It might be underwater, it might be in the clouds, it might be just below the earth's surface, it might be deep, deep within the earth. Whatever you see, whatever you're able to connect with, and if you can't, just allow yourself to have this experience. Know that you're still communicating to your subconscious. So we want to focus on the intention of accessing the pathways in our minds, in our thoughts, in our reactions, the ones we aren't even fully aware of, right? It just happens. We want to travel down to these pathways, and as we're exploring, we're seeing, oh yeah, I keep thinking that way. I don't need to know what it is. Maybe I do. Or maybe I do know what it is, but I don't need to know. I just need to know that there are a lot of these pathways that are not serving me. And I want to set an intention to shift that pathway to any of the more supportive kind of structures, slides, swings, ladders, stairways, elevators, whatever we want to pick up as like an association. And I want to choose my reaction to be one that serves me, one that supports my overall well-being, one that helps me to be more healthy, perhaps, or helps me to be more patient, or helps me to be more calm and collective, helps me to stay empowered. You might see all these like strings around you, like a giant harp or harpsichord, or I don't know, it might be flutes. But I'm just going to do a little channeling here while we allow these pathways to move and the staircases to shift, and just see these, maybe they look like rivers, and we're kind of guiding the river to move a different way, to flow a different way. Alright, now just close your eyes and receive this channeling. I'm seeing peaches, I'm seeing swans, I'm seeing estates, a tree, an old, interesting looking tree. Alright, I'm just going to play this kalimba, and we're just going to focus on the sounds, and as if those sounds are resonating with these different chords, with these different pathways. So we'll first just I'm seeing it's almost like a hieroglyphic or a cave kind of drawing. It looks like a vulture, but like a caricature of a vulture, like a vulture popped in my head. And it's like, I don't know, I can't make myself look like a drawing, I guess, but I had like all different colors and like individual feathers drawn on and stuff. Seeing arrows, like lots of arrows sticking up. Just on a fan, that energy. You know what, let's use our feather. Right? So I want to call in just the energy, the winds, the thoughts moving, ushering down these new connection points. Okay. Right? If you can still see yourself or feel yourself in that space, in that mode of transportation, just keep looking around. Make sure you can see. It's almost like I got like Toy Story 2 when they're in the back of the airport, you know, like with the luggage and everything's going different places. Just seeing stuff like that. Maybe you can see that. You can see we can deliver this somewhere. We can transfer this energy somewhere more helpful. Again, for you, not for me. For you. For me too, but in my own way. Right, and you can connect, you can call yourself back to the present, to your bed or your chair or wherever you may be. Right. Fluff the aura. seeing like the Jesus Last Supper table, but it kind of turned into a birthday cake, like with candles. So you feel good to me. I hope that you enjoyed our little session today. I hope these themes serve you. And I thank you so very much for allowing me to share a little piece of your path today. From the very bottom of my heart, I bow to the divine within you, within me, this magic, this energy, this source, this connection that we share, that we're a part of. Right. Much love and namaste.